Hi everyone! So today I have another really lovely commission work to share with you. So this one was for Craft Essential series, and this one is issue 165, or Crafter's Companion. Let me see what number. It's number 7 for Crafter's Companion in the magazine box kits. So yeah, I really loved working with this one. Let me show you first what we have in here. So we have a lovely spring themed stamp set. We have florals, we have little animals, and we have some sentiments. Hello spring, you make me smile, let your dreams blossom, if friends were flowers I'd pick you, grow your own way. So that's a really lovely A5 stamp set. We have a die, a lovely Froleries die that cuts out a wreath just like that on the picture. We have a really nice stencil. I really enjoyed using this one, and also an A6 embossing folder, also a floral one. This is all a spring themed kit. Now we have some papers. For this commission I was asked to show a range of different paper techniques, show off the fab paper pack. So as you can see, I have quite butchered this down. So I'll show you what I have in here, but it's not much. I should have, and I thought I had recorded this before I cut down the paper pads, but I can't find that video at all. What I will do, however, there's another creator on YouTube in here, and her channel is Lisa from Crafting Diva. I will have it linked in the description box below for you. She also has some commission work in the same issue of this magazine, and she did share her papers. So she did take a video before she cut into the papers. So once you finish watching my video, I advise you that you go over there and check out, because honestly these papers are so happy, so spring colored, spring themed, and truly beautiful. I really enjoyed working with these. I have recorded a video when I had to submit this work, and it was back in April. So from April to December. Sometimes I struggle to remember the dates and all, but good job I have my worksheets always set out for myself, so I can remind myself what to share when, although I'm a bit late sharing this because this issue of the magazine was out at the end of December, but it is still available on Craftstash, I checked. So I will leave that link in the description box below for you as well. So now what I will do, I will attach the video that I had recorded back in April, showing you all the gorgeous cards that I made using this kit, and mainly the papers to show off some gorgeous paper techniques. I really hope you enjoy the next 5 cards coming up. I really hope it inspires you in some way, and if you do like spring theme crafts, this kit is definitely one for you. So I will now attach my video, then go over and check out Lisa's video, and then click on the description box below to find the links that you need to. I really hope I see you back soon with my next tutorial. So I was asked to create 5 cards using the spring kit and show a range of different paper techniques to show off the fab paper pad. The cards were to be good for beginner to intermediate levels, to include 1 circle, 1 square, and 3 other shapes of my choosing. So for my first card, I went with a simple fold 5x7 rectangle card, and I decided to do a pinwheel design on the front in here. It's such a lovely and simple design. I've never made cards like this, and I was really happy to do this one. So the paper pad is gorgeous. As you could see earlier on, I showed you all the papers. They are really stunning, and I went with a teal color theme for this one. So card base is just a plain white card base, 5x7 card base, and then I used holographic cardstock and then a lovely teal color pattern paper. I only left a very thin border between each layer there. There's only 1/8 of an inch of a difference between the separate layers, so there's only 1/16 of an inch of that little border in there, and I think it is gorgeous. For the next layer I heat embossed, no sorry, I dry embossed just on plain white cardstock using the embossing folder, and very lightly I brushed over the raised areas and the edges a bit with a bit of yellows and greens, and I raised this level up on paper pads. I added some twine to it and the sentiment from the paper kit, again backed up with the holographic cardstock. For the pinwheel, I again have 3 layers, so I have that gorgeous teal, and then I have the holographic, and then the pattern papers from the paper kit, the 2 different pattern papers. I think they go well together, really gorgeous. So I also used brad in the middle there, just to add a little bit of a decoration, and all I did to finish off the card, just added some of these lovely silver AB rhinestones, which coordinate very well with the holographic cardstock. They pick up the colors the same way the holographic cardstock in the background does, and I think it just finishes it off really nicely. So this is one of the easier cards that I made, and I think it is absolutely stunning. Definitely will play with this technique a little bit more. I do have some other ideas to try to add to this, but I will have to work on that. So I think it's a beautiful card. Now for my second card, I also went with a 5x7. This time, however, I went with a top folding design. So the card shows up like this, and there's lots of room to write your message, and folds up like, or stands up like a tent folding here. So for this card, it did give me a little bit of a bother. I couldn't decide. It was always missing something, and I just kept changing the backgrounds, and then I tried the black, and that's completed it for me. I think it's because I stamped the image in black. It just worked so well together, then to add that lovely thin border of a black behind those layers. So I wanted to try this faux paper folding ribbon trying to do it. So I really wanted to try it for this one, and I think it is gorgeous. So it's 2 different papers from the paper kit, and it is just arranged in a way that it looks like as if a ribbon had been twisted in there, and shows the 2 different sides of it. I think it's beautiful. For the background, again, I just left again that 1/8 of an inch between the layers, leaving me with 1/16 of an inch of a border, and I really love that thin black layer in there. I think it completes it really nicely. The pink cardstock is just from my stash, and I added some pink, darker pink splatters all over it, which coordinates very well with the pattern paper in there on the ribbon. So I used some of the water color markers from Spectrum Noir to add color to the lovely stamped image. Some little glitter in the middle of those. The sentiment is from the paper kit, and I just backed it up behind those layers, pink, black and white, and again just dropped down 1/8 of an inch between each layer, and I finished the card off with some clear water droplets, flat back pearls, and I think it's turned out really pretty. So there's 2 5x7 ones with different color arrangements, and I think they both look lovely. So card number 3, I went with a paper weaving or lattice technique. I'm not sure what to call this one. Okay, so you can see the front of the card. I didn't add acetate, but you can do that. You could add acetate behind this one and make it a shaker card. I wanted to leave it quite simple like this. I think it's beautiful. So I've seen lots of paper weaving, paper lattice technique cards before, but what I really like about this one, and I've used a similar-ish technique before behind an oval aperture on a card, where I added the gold mirror cardstock, and on top of that I added the pattern paper. I really love that effect that the shiny edges of each paper strip give to this card. Really nice. So I went with a pink and yellow theme for this one, and gold obviously. So I've cut out 2 hexagons, one of white and one of gold, exactly identical ones. So I layered up all my strips on top of the white and then I just glued the gold frame on top of that to clear up all those edges. And then I heat embossed with gold embossing power some of these flowers from the stamp set, which are absolutely gorgeous stamp set, by the way. I really love these flowers. I used alcohol markers to add colors to them, to the tea tulips and these lovely, I don't know, is it cherry blossoms? I'm really not sure, but they are gorgeous flowers. And I wanted to bring a little bit of a blue into the flowers from the pattern of that paper in there. And then I just finished off with some lovely gemstones and a sentiment from the paper pad which says it's your birthday, and it's backed up with a very thin gold background in there again, and I raised this up on foam pads. So it's quite a nice and simple card. I also added a contrasting color onto the background in there, which I think that teal goes really, really well with all the colors on the front. I think it's such a lovely card. Now you have lots of room to write your message at the back in there, or you could add an extra bit of white paper in there to add your message, but obviously it would show through behind the window bits in here, unless you wanted to add the flowers into the middle of the card. That would look very nice too. So I really love how this one turned out. That was card number 3. So for card number 4, I went with the circle card, which I was asked to make one of those, and this is it. I went with an easel card. Stands up beautifully, as you can see, and I decided to do an iris folding paper technique. Just look at that gorgeous design. So I chose a white card just for the base of this card again, and then I went with pattern paper in there, and the same pattern paper that is in the background in there is the one that I created the frame for this heart shape with. For the iris fold I chose 4 different papers from the kit, and I finished it off with a little butterfly in the middle. The sentiment from the kit is "You are blessed," and it's backed up with some white cardstock. For this layer in here, I didn't want to have it just plain white. It looked a bit odd, so I decided to add some ink splatters to it using salvage patina, mustard seed, and I think it was worn lipstick for this one. So the pinks, the blues and the yellows, which really nicely go with the color theme of the whole card. I just finished it off with the stopper and some pearls in here. So all the dies for the stopper and for the card base are from a nesting die set from Chloe's Creative Cards, but you can use any scalloped and straight edge circle dies that you may have in your stash to create something similar. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. I really love it. I love the soft colors in this one, and yeah, the splatter I think just brought everything together. I was thinking of adding some flowers to this too, and I have created some. Like these weren't these are just leftovers from the next card that I'm going to show you, but I thought it was then just too much. I don't know, I just didn't like it, so I just decided to leave it nice and simple, showing off those gorgeous papers. And there's another paper from the paper pad. How lovely is that one? So this was card number 4, and last but not least, for card number 5, so the paper technique that I used in here were these paper straws. Okay, so let me just walk you through this a little bit. So this is a 6 by 6 inch card base, just a plain square card base, which I decided to put in a top folding shape. 5 3/4 of an inch is the pattern paper from the paper kit. For this one in here, I used the stencil from the kit and then some Distress Oxide inks. And I also decided to add a little bit of a sparkle to this. I also decided to add a little bit of a sparkle to all these lovely flowers in there. I will add some close-up videos at the end of this so you can see perfectly how gorgeous they are. I used from Cosmic Shimmer the Ultra Sparkle Texture Paste, and this one is the Frosty Sparkle. When it dries back completely clear, so you can see the color from underneath, but with that gorgeous sparkle. And that glitter doesn't go anywhere because it's obviously hardened up paste, and it is stunning. Underneath the paper straws, you can see I added this white piece. I tried to pull it up closer so you can see. when I arranged the paper straws on top of this space in here, it just kind of got lost. Something was missing in there, so I added a piece of, I think this was like 6.5 by 1.5 inch, and I cut both ends into a fishtail. It's a paper from the paper pad, but I backed it up with some white cardstock just for a bit of a durability, stability in there, because then I added foam pads underneath that layer and also foam pads underneath this layer, so there's lots of dimension on this card. Then using 3 different papers, I created these paper straws, and I just wrapped a piece of those papers. They are all the same length, only I arranged them, every next one is a bit lower than the previous one. They are all 3 different colors, and I just wrapped them around the pencil and I glued the edges together. I created these flowers using the stamp from the kit, heat embossed them with white embossing powder on vellum. From underneath I added some color using my Distress Oxide inks, same inks as I used on the background in there, and I added 2 layers. So I layered 2 of these on top of each other for each of these flowers, and I also heat embossed some of the foliage from a different stamp from this set, and I just cut off the foliage of that one. I added some little pearls in the middle of the flowers, just white AB pearls, which I think are beautiful, and I added the water droplets just here and there all around that background in there amongst all the lovely glittery flowers. And this is it for my final card. Oh, and the sentiment says, "A time to smell the flowers." I think it's beautiful little sentiment in there. So these are my 5 cards using this kit, showing off the papers, using all different paper techniques. So I'm going to try to fit them all in the screen in here. And I would like you to comment below in the comment section to tell me which one do you like the most. Are you likely to try any of these techniques? Would you like me to make a tutorial for any of these? And if you would like to, please leave me a comment in the comment section below. So this one is number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Which one is your favorite? I will see you very soon with my next video. Until then, bye!